Adding to my statement, this is January 4th, 2023. Um, back on May 3rd, 2003, my whole family's at home. Um, we're working on our house. Now, like I said, where I've been working with that one doctor that put me on the fentanyl packets and other pain meds and got me off the other medication. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting better. And I'm toddling around the house. I'm driving a car again. Um, and I could even get around with just my braces because my legs would slide in and out of place from the excess fluid on my legs. Like they said, with all the medication I was on, hard telling what was causing that massive swelling. And they didn't take me off. I was on like 10, 15 medicines. And they pulled out turkey basters full of fluid off my knees and then put more steroids. And I had went through the trigger point injections. Then I was on thyroid medicine, adrenal stuff for my adrenaline. I mean, I was seeing everybody from Cleveland Clinic to orthopedic doctors to cardiologists. My heart even got off a few times. I suffered really bad from having endometriosis. Then I had 6 other surgeries where I had 2 hysterectomy in 2 different parts. I had my appendix out, I had my gallbladder out, I had my kidney repaired. And then they had to go through my stomach and repair it. And then my kidney had got where I had to have stents put in several times. I was put out so many times within 2 years. I went into the fibromyalgia. And then I started gaining weight, gained 100 pounds, started swelling. And somebody had told me about this doctor that treated pain with pain medicine. Got me off all the alternative drugs and started working with pain medicine. First month I threw up like crazy. I got used to the meds. And his thing was, don't exercise right away, just move a little. Just move a little. Just move a little. You move a little more, your muscles relax. He said, what you have goes into spontaneous remission all the time. I thought, you're crazy. I'm in so much pain. It's ridiculous. And, I'm seeing all these different doctors and everything. Okay. Got MRI reports. Da, 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 da. So what I did is I did what he said, started moving a little more, a little more. Within a month, I'm driving a car again. I can feel my feet enough that I can drive a car. I can toddle around the house with just my braces instead of my braces and my canes. I only wore braces and ordered by an orthopedic doctor because my legs were so swollen they slide in and out of place. That was it. And he was pulling fluid off of them and then putting more steroids in my knees where I was getting 30 shots of steroids in my back for the trigger point, improving the fibromyalgia, okay, caused by all the different surgeries. And they kept saying it would go into remission. And 80% of the people do, okay? So I, like I said, May 3rd, 2003, we're working on my house. Brian Laney had showed up and told us that Phil Miller, Ron Vegas' father-in-law, and his son Tyler had got killed in a traffic accident. Phil had ran a stop sign and a semi hit him, and where people were following from the church, seeing it, they tried to call them Harold Strange, and he was calling them names, calling them a liar, hanging up on him. They're so afraid of him because they're brainwashed. They couldn't call Ron themselves. They had to wait for the hospital to call him because they were too afraid to pick up the phone and be adults. And we're all sitting there in shock. Well, I had already got better enough. I was toddling around just with my braces. I was, and at times I could do it at home, just a few steps here or there, as long as I held on to something. And if not, sometimes I fell. But I'm stubborn. And it was just that my legs were swollen. Okay. And, okay. And with working with this doctor, he said, I've done this with other people, get them on pain, I get them to start moving. As I get them to start moving, they get better. Then we start exercising. I got this one lady almost as bad as you on a treadmill in less than a year. Well, I'm already getting better for months. We found out about this horrible accident. Okay. It's horrible. About 2 or 3 months later, I go into the spontaneous remission where I've been toddling around the house, toddling around everywhere, and driving. I'm moving again. This minister had even came and he prayed for me. And he gave me this big lecture. He said, I want you to fight. I want you to try. I want you to give it all your best. And you're going to beat this. And you just keep breathing out. And you keep fighting. You don't give up. You push through this. You hear me? And he's giving me this big lecture. So, it took me days of where I was already months of toddling around with just the braces, okay? And toddling around sometimes without them. Now I'm good enough to be out where my sons had newspaper runs. I'd get out with my braces and my canes, and I'd walk the paper up with them. That's how much stronger I was getting. Well, I was out there with it again, out there walking, okay? And I thought, try balancing with one. And it took days and days and days. And you know what? It went into the spontaneous remission. One of the things, fibromyalgia, if you have 100 people, 80 of them are going to go into spontaneous remission. It's like you get hurt so bad, your body goes into this chronic pain, autoimmune thing. And then within over 2 years, it'll spontaneously just disappear. You got to get up, you got to get moving, you got to start building natural endorphins, so you got to move those sore muscles. You can't put extra pressure on them because they'll recontract like that doctor said, but you got to get some blood into them. And then it just disappears. By the grace of God, and they said, we don't even know why. But it does. 80% of the time it disappears. See, nothing had to do with nothing. And that was months later. Several months later. Because he died May 3rd, and it was like July or August. Where I had been toddling around the house, driving a car since March. February, March. I want you to think about that. And here it is, July. And all these months of me toddling around, me driving a car, getting out, getting my independence back, slowly moving those muscles. And I had got strong enough. Like I said, I'd get out and walk my paper out with the paper out with my boys, with canes and my braces. And I would get out there and I was building those muscles. And like I said, that one minister gave me like, you fight, you do this, you do that. It took days of even fighting stronger and harder and harder and stronger. And it snapped and it went back into remission. And then I would go out and walk several times a week. I would do this, I would do that. Make sure I have degenerative joint disease. I still have it. But if you keep up your muscles and your tendons around your knees and your other things, that it gives the appearance of being in remission because you don't swell, you don't have pain because the muscles and the tendons are tight and holding them in place. So I walk a lot. Now I just work a lot. And one thought I might have RA or something else. I'm not for sure. They had so many diagnoses on me and but everything I had goes into remission or appearance of that with exercise. And 88% with arthritis. As long as you exercise, keep moving, it'll give you the appearance. Now I'm taking vitamins, trying to rebuild up everything. But the whole thing of it is, nothing I had was miraculous. Nothing else was out of the ordinary. But hard work by the grace of God and a phenomenon that happens to over 80% of the people that happen. And for that occult leader, where I had 6 to 10 surgeries, went through that horrible pain syndrome, and then worked through it with a doctor and got slowly better, and then even pushed myself harder till it went into remission. Does that have anything to do with that kid's death months before that? No. But he's an occult leader. He told everybody I was faking I was sick and faking I got well to hurt him while I was grieving. I would have been sick for 3 years. He plays with people's mind. And so for them to say that agent knew I was faking I was sick and faking I got well to hurt his grieving, and he stole my money from the witness protection program. He stole my money because he's a thief. He left me up there for them to hurt me so they could get even with me. He did it because he took the payoff because there was a 25 grand hit on my life. He was the one in the store for It's my daughter. Her husband dates. He met her in a store in Ravenna. Michelle's father. The agent that returned my call from out of that area, retired Judge Pete's probably his dad or uncle. Bill from the Freemasons, probably Will Jr., and Alex is probably his son. Because Michelle was at Faith Family Church, a young blonde girl. My dad's FBI, he works the case. He wasn't allowed to work the case, then we wouldn't have to worry about him badgering me and him running this big scam down here. And that, yeah. And he could have educated those brainwashed occult people of, look, this happens 80% of the time. This goes into remission. 80% of the time. And he could have pulled it up on the phone and showed it. She's got all these surgeries. She's got all this. You've seen her sick. I don't want to even hear this. And she's out of here. And he should have lectured him and threatened him. But it was up there, him telling on me, curl people's toenails. Dave already knew he was dating his daughter. And so for him to be up there and a Stark County Sheriff verified, he told on me before I called him back. Yeah. He was probably up there getting more names. He's in it with drug dealers. It's a scary phenomenon what he's doing. And like they said, the police realized the ones that were doing this to me were drug dealers. What makes it, oh my God, I called the FBI hotline. Oh my God, the agent that called me back bullied me. He badgered me on the phone. He threatened me. He listed me informant, put me in the witness protection program, was supposed to pull me out and move me and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He left me up there to die. And he's the one that told on me. And then it's running this big scam with the drug dealers. You know what happens when officers or agents get drug addictions? They become scary, scary bad people. He needs to be stopped. And it's not funny he's telling people that. He's going along with that lie that they made up. It's one thing if you're a brainwashed occult person with low IQ, and it's another thing when you're an officer or an agent and you can actually use Google and it shows that everything I had goes into spontaneous remission or the parents thereof with exercise.